When I was spending time with Holly in the hospital, you could see that she was noticing that there were children there that did not have family with them. And when she asked, she was told that they have to make a choice on whether or not they can be at home with their other children, or they need to be at work to put food on the table and pay for the rent, or make the decision to let those things go and be in the hospital. And unfortunately, there are lots of families that have to make the decision to stay at work. And to Holly, that was unimaginable. So that was what impacted me to become very involved in the Hands for Holly Fund. I can't imagine my child going through some of the worst things of her life or his life and me not being there. For me, the goal of the Hands for Holly Fund is to let parents be there, to give them the means and the opportunity to be with their children, because how can you not? And I think us as a community in Charlotte and surrounding counties, that is one thing that we should all get behind and raise money, donate it to these families so they can be there.
Hands for Holly has truly changed how I'm able to do my job. I've been in this role a little over 4 years, social work again for over 20. And prior to Hands for Holly, we did have some grant funding, but they were minimal. I mean, they were very helpful and we're very appreciative, but we're looking at $250 per year per family. Housing in Charlotte is very expensive. Most of our families are barely able to pay their rent. I mean, rent is going to be between $900 to $1,000 a month. They're barely able to pay their power bill. So when Hands for Holly donated the funds to the hospital and their grants were $1,500 per family, life-changing, and that's what Hands for Holly has done for our families. And I probably send one request per day, and it's been a rough winter. Just give one example. I have a baby. He was in the NICU at Novant, came to our cardiovascular intensive care unit with a heart defect. Double outlet right ventricle. Pretty straightforward for a heart defect. He's now 8 weeks old. He's had 2 cardiac arrests. He's had a trach, a G-tube. The G-tube perforated his colon. He now has a colonoscopy. He's 8 weeks old. And this family was being evicted. Their lights were being shut off, and their car was being repoed. And because of Hands for Holly, all their bills were taken care of. And the mom can be here at the hospital with her baby.
I use the fund at least once a week for my families. That looks very different. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes off the burden of having to deal with any kind of funeral expenses for families if their children ultimately pass away. And that's a huge relief to not have to worry about that on top of grieving for the loss of their child. It also makes a difference in paying our families rent, their utilities. I don't know how many times a family has said, oh my gosh, I'm here, I'm not at work, I'm going to be evicted, and we're able to say, no, you're not, we'll get this dealt with. We had a child who was transplanted almost a year ago who waited for 11 months here in the hospital. So it's a long time, and we're asking families to be here with them, and so that means ultimately we're asking them not to work, which in a 2-parent household, they typically need that income, or sometimes it's a one single family who they also need that income, and it does really put some strain on them. So use it all the time for all different things for every family, but most commonly for those who are living here until we can get a new organ for their son or daughter.
My son, he was born with a very complex heart disease. Me and my husband got really behind in some of our bills. We became very stressed out, didn't know what to do because, I'm unemployed right now. I rent mostly. That was the biggest burden on us. Our car payment, our light bill. It was able to help us, get further and help us just to be able to have, to be able to continue to provide for our kids.
My name is Kelly McGregor, and I'm the Director of Fund Development for the Children's Team at Caroline's Healthcare Foundation, which basically means I have the privilege of working with three lovely teammates in Mark Griffith and Sarah Richardson and Laura Skinner, and together we lead efforts to raise philanthropic support for Levine Children's Hospital and the other pediatric service lines throughout our system. Certainly it's a fund that exists to help families that are caring for seriously ill or injured children being treated at the hospital, whether it is helping to cover rent or car payments or utilities or any other financial need. That fund helps to kind of quell some fears and calm some nerves and allows families to really truly be families and to concentrate on their children getting better. I just want to thank the Wade family, and I certainly want to thank the team at Hands for Holly, and I hope you all know how important it is that what you're providing for these families is just something that they'll never forget, and we certainly can't do our jobs without donors and supporters like all of you, so we are extremely grateful. Thank you.